Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're breaking down why your degree is deflating, the real economics of modern education, made simple enough that anyone can follow. Let's get into it. Imagine everyone in a packed stadium stands up to see better. For 1 second, it works. You can see the field perfectly. Then the row in front of you stands up too. Then the row in front of them. And within seconds, every single person in that stadium is on their feet. Nobody can see any better than they did sitting down. But here's the cruel part. Now you can't sit back down. If you do, you see nothing. So you stand, for hours, exhausted, right back where you started. That stadium? It's the modern job market. The standing up? That's getting a college degree. And right now, almost everyone is on their feet, paying a fortune for a view that used to be free. This is the story of how the safest investment in America quietly became one of the riskiest. For about 50 years, the message never changed. Get a degree, any degree. It's your golden ticket to the middle class. Your parents believed it. Your teachers believed it. And honestly, for a long time, it was true. But look at where we are in 2026. Americans now owe roughly $1.9 trillion in student debt, spread across nearly 43 million people, and the average borrower carries around $40,000. 40 grand. Before they've worked a single day in their career. That is not a ladder. A ladder lifts you up. This thing wraps around your ankle the moment you step off campus. So how did the golden ticket get so expensive? And who's still profiting from selling it to you? Here's my promise. By the end of this, you'll understand the entire economics of a college degree. Why it costs what it costs, why it's worth less than it used to be, and how to tell whether yours is an anchor or a ladder. And I'll do it without one boring textbook definition. No jargon, no graphs that glaze your eyes over. Just a stadium, a coupon, a buffet, a treadmill, and a lemonade stand. If you're 14, you'll get this. If you're 40 and about to send a kid to college, you really need to get this. Because there's a multi-billion-dollar industry that depends on you not doing the math we're about to do together. Let's pull back the curtain. When you're the only person standing, standing is a superpower. You see everything. You get the job, the promotion, the corner office. That was a degree in 1960. Only a small slice of people had one, so if you did, employers fought over you. But standing up works so well that people copy it. Your neighbor stands, then their kids. Every decade, more people go to college, and slowly, the magic drains out. Because once everyone is standing, standing isn't special. It's the baseline, the minimum, the price of being let in the building at all. Today, almost half the workforce has a degree. So when you wave yours in an interview, the person across the desk has a stack of 200 resumes with the same diploma on every one. You didn't bring an advantage. You just avoided being the one person sitting down. So let this land. The degree didn't lose value because it got worse. It lost value because it got common. Diamonds are expensive because they're rare. Imagine everyone found a bucket in their backyard tomorrow. Same diamond, worth nothing. That's your degree, and it has a name. Economists call it credential inflation. Forget the term. Here's how it behaves. It's a coupon. Imagine I hand you one that says 20% off, and you're the only person in town who has it. Powerful. You get a deal nobody else can. That's a rare degree. Now imagine that exact coupon gets printed on the back of every cereal box in the country. Everyone has it. Still special? Of course not. And here's the sneaky part. The store notices everyone has it, so they quietly raise the base price to cancel it out. You're not saving anything. You're running just to stand still. That's your degree. When 1 in 3 adults holds the same one, waiving it does nothing. It just barely gets you to the regular door, a door with a new sign, degree required. So the degree stopped being a way to get ahead and quietly became a fee just to apply. A toll booth. You don't get anything extra for paying it. You just can't get on the road without it. $40,000. To stand in the same line as everyone else. Watch how that little sign spreads onto doors that never had it. Take an executive assistant. Running an office, a real skilled job, but one you could always do without a degree. Here's the wild part. Only about 19% of the people currently doing that job hold a bachelor's. They learned on the job, and they're great at it. But the new job postings? 65% demand a degree. Same desk, same tasks, same pay. Suddenly walled off behind 4 years and 40 grand, keeping out the very people who've been doing it all along. And it's not one job. Researchers estimate around 6 million Americans who can clearly do the work get auto-filtered by hiring software, for one reason. No paper. The computer never shows their resume to a human. People call this the paper ceiling, a ceiling you can't see and didn't agree to, made entirely of a piece of paper. That's the treadmill in real life. Your parents reached the middle class walking. You have to sprint. 4 years, tens of thousands in debt, just to reach the same spot. And it gets worse. Because while all this happened, the price didn't just rise. It exploded. So why did the price explode? 3, 4, 5 times what your parents paid, even after inflation. Here's the part nobody on the campus tour will tell you. Picture an all-you-can-eat buffet. Normally a restaurant can't charge crazy prices. If they tried $200 a plate, you'd laugh and walk out. The fact that you can say no is the only thing keeping the price sane. But now imagine the government stands at the door and hands every customer a credit card on the way in. Don't worry about the price. This'll cover whatever they charge. What happens to the cost of that buffet? It goes up, every year, relentlessly. Because the restaurant knows the card will always pay. This isn't hypothetical. Back in 1987, the U.S. Education Secretary, William Bennett, wrote a famous article titled, "I'm not making this up, Our Greedy Colleges." His argument: the more the government lends students, the more colleges just raise prices to scoop it up. And the data backs him. The New York Federal Reserve found that for every extra dollar a college got in student loans, it raised tuition by about 58 cents. More than half of that help never helped you. The loan didn't make college cheaper. It gave colleges permission to make it expensive. You were handed a credit card and told it was a gift. Now the numbers, and they're staggering. Adjusted for inflation, real honest dollars, U.S. tuition is up over 200% since the 1960s. But here's the comparison that matters. From 2000 to 2020, tuition rose 111% faster than wages. Translation: the price of the degree ran more than twice as fast as the paycheck the degree is supposed to get you. Picture a treadmill. You're walking, trying to get somewhere. That's you paying for college. Every year somebody cranks the speed up. So you walk faster, bigger loans, a second job. But you're not moving forward, because the paycheck at the finish line is barely moving. And the prize is shrinking. Remember the coupon? The degree's worth less now everyone has one. So picture the full scene. You're sprinting on a treadmill that speeds up every year, the entry fee climbs, the exhaustion grows, and the prize gets smaller. That's not a ladder to the middle class. That's a machine built to keep you running and paying. But surely it's still worth it in the end. That's a precise financial question, with an actual answer. And to find it, we just need a lemonade stand. Everything you buy passes one test. Does it pay for itself? That's the whole idea behind a phrase you've heard: return on investment. Forget the suits. Think of a kid's lemonade stand. The stand, cups, lemons, sign, $50. The question before you spend a cent: over the summer, will it sell more than $50 of lemonade? If yes, great, good investment. But if that fancy stand costs more than all the lemonade it'll ever sell, it's a bad buy. Doesn't matter how nice it looks, you lost money. A degree is the same calculation, bigger numbers. Cost: tuition plus the years you didn't earn. Payoff: the extra money it earns you over a career. So researchers ran that exact test on thousands of real programs, and the results are shocking. Around 1 in 4 bachelor's degrees leave the graduate financially worse off than if they'd never enrolled. Negative return: the stand cost more than the lemonade. For 2-year associate degrees, over 40% don't pay off. For masters, nearly half. These aren't rare cases. It's a massive chunk of the dream, sold at full price, returning less than nothing. But even if the math works, getting the degree doesn't mean getting the job. Say you beat the odds. Good major, math works, you graduate. You're safe now, right? Not so fast. Imagine you spent 4 years training to be a chef. Knife skills, sauces, timing, you're genuinely good. Then you graduate, go looking for a kitchen, and the only job you can find is flipping burgers at a fast food window. You have the skill. There's just no kitchen that'll hire you to use it. That has a name: underemployment. Working a job that doesn't even need the degree you paid for. And right now it's everywhere. Roughly 4 out of 10 recent grads are underemployed. Baristas, call centers, retail floors. Jobs they could have gotten at 18 with no degree and no debt. And here's the gut punch. A grad stuck in one of those jobs earns only about 25% more than someone who walked straight out of high school. 25%. For 4 years and 40 grand. A grad in the right job? About 88% more. Same diploma, same debt. Wildly different lives, decided by whether a real job was waiting. And it sticks. Start underemployed, and you're likely still there 10 years later. The first rung becomes the rung you're trapped on. The fryer doesn't always let you back into the kitchen. Here's proof this isn't about being smart enough. It's baked into the system. In 2024, Bloomberg studied the return on investment of more than 1,500 colleges. A degree from a fancy brand-name private school, not an Ivy, but the kind that costs a fortune, was often worth about $135,000 over 10 years. Sounds like a lot, until you hear the next part. A far cheaper public school frequently delivered roughly the same payoff. Same result, a fraction of the cost. So what did the extra money buy? Not a better outcome. It bought a logo. Economists call it signaling. Think of a brand-name backpack. A $200 designer bag doesn't carry more books than a $20 one. You're paying for the little logo, the signal you could afford it. And that works, right up until everyone wears the same logo. Then it signals nothing, and you're just out $180. That's the expensive degree, a premium price for a signal that's fading every year. So put it together. Common, so it's weaker. Mandatory, so you can't avoid it. The price exploded. The payoff shrank, sometimes below zero. Even the expensive version mostly buys a fading logo. So, do you just give up on it? No, because the door isn't locked. It just moved. For decades, there was one door into a good career. It said, college degree. And it had a turnstile that cost 40 grand. Want in? Pay the toll. But watch what big companies actually do, not what they say. Google, IBM, Tesla, Bank of America, General Motors. One by one, they've dropped the degree requirement from a chunk of their jobs. Not out of kindness. They finally admitted what you can do matters more than what you bought. In 2022, about 57% of employers hired based on skills instead of degrees. By 2024, 81%. 1 in 3 companies doesn't even list a degree on salaried roles anymore. The paper ceiling is cracking. And then there's the door nobody on the campus tour points to, the skilled trades. An electrician in 2024 earned a median of about $62,000. Top earners clear 6 figures. And here's the kicker. They get paid to train. A 4-year apprenticeship, earning the whole time, instead of paying 40 grand. You come out with a skill, no debt, and 4 years of income in your pocket. No anchor. No treadmill. I'm not saying everyone should become an electrician. The point is the monopoly is breaking. There were never just one door. There are side doors everywhere. Certifications, apprenticeships, boot camps, portfolios, provable skills. And a lot of them don't charge admission. The ticket was never the only way in. We just forgot the building had other entrances. So, is college a scam? No. Too simple. For engineers, nurses, computer scientists, doctors, the math still works, beautifully. For them, the stand sells plenty of lemonade. The mistake was never going. The mistake is treating it as automatic, a magic ticket that works no matter the price, the major, or the school. Those days are over. A degree isn't a golden ticket anymore. It's an investment. And 2 things decide if it lifts you or drags you down: the price you pay and what you actually study. So before you, or your kid, signs that loan, run the lemonade stand test. Stand up in the stadium if it genuinely gets you a better view. Just make sure you know what that seat costs first. And one quick note, none of this is financial advice. It's a way of thinking, so you can make the call that's right for you. I kept this simple on purpose, which means we skipped the really advanced, scary stuff. Like how compound interest can quietly double that loan while you're not looking. The true opportunity cost, the real dollars you lose from the years you didn't work. And the loan forgiveness programs that can flip the whole math if you know the rules. That's part 2. Want it? The advanced money mechanics behind student debt? Comment part 2 below and I'll build the whole thing. Hit subscribe so you see it when it drops. Because the people still selling the old story are really hoping you never sit. And that's a wrap. If this made things click for you, do me a favor. Hit subscribe and share it with someone who needs it. See you in the next one.